It's time now for French Connections. That's our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France, and that means I'm joined by Florence Villeneuve.
Hey, Nadia.
Hello. We're going to be talking about perhaps one of the most quintessential symbols of France. That's the baguette. Now, we've talked about the baguette several times on your show, French Connections, but actually, there's some exciting baguette news.
Very exciting baguette news, Nadia. The French government has nominated the baguette for inclusion on the UN's Intangible Cultural Heritage Register. And you might be surprised that the baguette doesn't already have this status, because after all, the baguette is such an important part of French life and the French diet. For instance, at the beginning of the first lockdown here in France, the government made sure to keep bakeries open because after all, it's essential business, and the French eat a lot of baguettes. It's estimated that each year some 10 billion baguettes are consumed. So just to break it down for you, that is 320 baguettes a second. And as you can imagine, French people are very proud of this stick of bread.
Cocorico pour la baguette française.
À part en France, on n'en trouve jamais de bonnes.
Ça fait partie de notre patrimoine culturel, historique. Donc non, c'est une très bonne initiative. Il faut mettre à l'honneur le savoir-faire français.
Now, Flo, when we think about UNESCO heritage status, you probably think of things like Stonehenge, the Taj Mahal, physical objects, but the status of intangible heritage is quite separate.
Absolutely. The intangible cultural heritage, it's a little bit of a mouthful. This register is aimed to protect traditions, knowledge, and skills so they're not lost over time. And lots of things are on this list. For instance, Belgian beer culture, Neapolitan pizza, Korean kimchi, all sorts of things. There's some French traditions as well, for instance, the French traditional gastronomic meal. Critics say this status is kind of useless. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but it has a lot of defenders who say it's an important stamp of approval that really does offer protection, but also encourages the preservation of local traditions and practices. Now, if the baguette is so popular, why in the world would it need this stamp of approval? Well, French bakers say the listing would actually safeguard artisanal bakers and the artisanal baguette from global plagiarists, but also from industrial baguettes, because French people eat a lot of industrial baguettes. In fact, about 20,000 bakeries have closed since the 1970s as shoppers go to supermarkets instead. So a lot is at stake here.
So, Flo, there are fears then that the art of traditionally crafted baguettes could be lost.
And it really is an art form that's passed down from generation to generation, and it's one that you can actually learn and repeat and eat at home. And I found this out a couple of months ago during a break in the lockdown, as you can check it out for yourself.
To unlock the secret of what makes French bread delicious, I went to meet Yoshimi Lendemain, co-founder of the popular Lendemain bakery line with shops in Paris, Lille, and even Tokyo.
Hi Yoshimi, thanks so much for having us today. You're going to teach us how to make a traditional French baguette. What are the steps?
Il y a 3 étapes. D'abord, on va pétrir la pâte. Ensuite, on va diviser la pâte. À la fin, on va façonner une baguette.
Parfait. Well, let's get going.
Let's go.
Donc 350 grammes d'eau.
Oui. Après, la levure.
OK.
Maintenant, du sel. Il faut bien mélanger.
Bien mélanger.
Voilà. Mettre le vin naturel et on mélange. Après, petit à petit, la farine devient une pâte. Ouais, c'est bon, c'est bon. Maintenant, il faut couper un peu, taper la pâte.
Pourquoi est-ce qu'on frappe?
Quand on frappe, la pâte, ça donne de la force. La pâte qui est ferme, en fait. Tape,
Frappe.
voilà.
Ah.
Et maintenant, la pâte elle devient homogène. Maintenant, on va laisser reposer 15 minutes. Après 15 minutes de repos, la pâte est devenue légèrement. Vous voyez, c'est pas la même consistance qu'avant. Hein.
Ça se casse pas.
Ça se casse pas, ça se déchire.
Ah ouais.
Je vais frapper encore une fois. C'est bon? Voilà.
OK. So 24 hours later, what we just did gives us this mix.
On va bloquer à peu près 6 degrés pour que la pâte qui développe gentiment. Et aussi, la pâte est bien aérée. C'est très joli, hein? Moi, je suis amoureuse.
So we divided it up into little balls, and now we're going to make it into the baguette shape, and
Yes.
this is called le façonnage.
Façonnage.
C'est quoi le secret ici?
C'est très technique. Je mets toujours 3 lignes comme ça. On pend la pâte avec 4 doigts, comme ça. Et maintenant, on ferme avec la main droite, en glissant vers la gauche.
On fait des serpents.
Il faut jamais tirer la pâte.
Ok.
Alors maintenant, c'est ton tour.
Ok. Mais ça a l'air tellement facile quand c'est vous qui le faites, mais ok. It's not as easy as it looks.
On fait comme ça.
Ok.
Voilà. Il faut rouler.
Donc 1 heure plus tard,
Notre baguette, ils sont prêtes à cuire.
ok, donc on les met au four.
Exactement.
Cool. Hop. Avant de le mettre au four, il faut donner,
Oui, donner un lame.
une lame.
Oui,
Et c'est quoi?
lame.
C'est la signature de...
Chaque pain, il y a différentes queues de lame. En fait, ça donne identité aussi la beauté. Et plus important, la pâte dans le four, il va se développer. S'il n'y a pas de lame, ça va craquer, n'importe comment.
Oh, pardon.
Vite. Hop.
Ah, voilà.
Oh.
How do you know if it's the perfect baguette?
Alors déjà, première chose, la pâte elle est bien brillante. Et deuxième chose, la pâte, il y a plein de trous équivalentes. Et troisième chose, la côte au compte et bonne épice.
So now we can taste it?
Yes,
This
of
is the
course.
best part. Okay. Thank you. That's a very good baguette.
C'est super bon.
Thank you so much, Yoshimi, for teaching us.
Thank you so welcome.
So there you have it. Now you can make your own baguette at home, and trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. As for the fate of the baguette, UNESCO is going to pronounce its decision at the end of 2022, and we will, of course, be sure to give you that news when it comes out.
You've inspired me, Flo. Thank you very much indeed for showing us, how you can make a baguette. And that is all we have time for. But if you have questions for Flo, you can always tweet her at Flo Villeneuve. You can check out our website as well, France24.com. Lots more of our French Connection series on there.